Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is our show that is just premiering right now, the Miracle series with Jason. They've got a little opener going there, and we are having a little watch party, having some barbecue. So come along and join us as we watch.
I woke up the next morning and I could see. I could see just as clearly out of my left eye as I could before all of this happened. I really couldn't believe it. And then later that day, I realized I started seeing again through my right eye, which I hadn't seen anything in 5 years. My whole bottom of my right foot was completely unable to feel anything. My toes were paralyzed. It was bad. The other day, I was walking to the bathroom to take a shower, and I was barefoot, and I could suddenly feel the temperature on the bottom of my foot. I said, no way. I could feel the temperature. I could feel the floor on the bottom of my foot. I could feel everything.
We have one person that came. She's that C word survivor and had to have a hysterectomy and everything. And she had another tumor that cropped up. And after coming for some sessions, she does not have a tumor anymore.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another segment of Miracle Stories. Today we have Natalie and Linda from the Stonehill Retreat in Louisville, Kentucky. They have a 24-unit energy enhancement system, and of course, they are a part of the Unified Healing Network. They have incredible things to share with us today, from blindness to what I'll call the C word, that disease that's rampant all around the world, with many, many other things that they have to share in terms of testimonials. So before we get into the magic of what's been going on in their center, Natalie and Linda, if you guys want to share your background real quick, what is this? How did you guys get into this? What's going on? And then let's dive into maybe Linda's story with what's happened recently, and we can go deeper into all that.
Oh, sure, Jason. This is super exciting for us. We're just over the moon. We've only been open 5-6 weeks here. And what we've seen in that time has made this journey worth it. This was a 9-month journey. I literally did not see your video with Dr. Sandra Rose Michaels until September 2nd of last year. And I signed up the same day. You called me back the same day. I got it. It made sense to me. I've been involved in alkaline ionized water industry for nearly 19 years. It'll be 19 years next month. And done medical studies, worked with a lot of alternative doctors. I understand how sickness and disease, comes from acidity in the body. And this just dovetailed perfectly for me with what I already do. But there's more than that for me. My cousin later said to me, well, have you tried a system? And I'm like, no, I didn't think of that. It just made sense to me, but also because I followed your disclosure series and read Pyramid Codes and your other book, I knew it had the like, know, and trust factor with you. And if you were saying it worked, I'm like, bingo, okay. And the testimonials, your aunt's testimonial, and there was one about a woman, 93 years old, with macular degeneration that was blind but couldn't see. My grandmother was in that exact situation. And I had pain in my body. My husband had pain in his body. And I'm like, we need this for our family, but we're going to help other people with it too. So that's how I got rolling.
That's awesome.
Linda worked. So partway through me jumping in on this, Linda messages me. She had bought a dog from me. I breed dogs. I have multiple businesses. And she had bought a Pomsky. And she said, I used to manage a restaurant. And I said, great. So the location that I was trying to secure for our center was in a hotel, in a former restaurant, 6,000 square feet on a river. Beautiful, fabulous, perfect. But they said, well, we're contractually obligated to have a restaurant. And I stood there and I said, no problem. I said, we'll do both. We'll have the center outside. I'll cover the area out there. We'll have the restaurant inside. I said, my daughter is a trained chef, and she has a catering business for 10 years, and it's her dream to own a restaurant. So I'm literally standing there on the spot pitching this, and I didn't tell them that I had never met my daughter. She's my adopted son's half sister that we had found through DNA nearly a year before. And it was all spur of the minute. She literally agreed to move across country with her 5 children and her husband to come help me with this project. And I'm like, God gave me a chef and a restaurant, and I have no desire to run a restaurant, and a restaurant manager, and everything is falling together. Now, at this point, I still did not know there was an 8-month wait for the EE equipment. But anyway, it's been an amazing journey, and I did not find out until well after Linda had her incredible experience from blindness to vision that she was a doubter. We're going to be doing a video about that because it's just a crack up. When Linda shared, she's amazing. So you want to hear about what happened?
Yeah, I would love to hear Linda's testimony because it's now going everywhere.
Our center, I read on Facebook that she has gone blind in her second eye. I knew she was already blind in one eye, and I'm horrified. And I'm thinking she has macular degeneration. And remember, I already know that EE has helped people with that. So you go ahead and tell your story, Linda.
Okay, so that was basically what happened. I have been blind in my right eye for 5 years due to many surgeries that just too much scar tissue and things.
Detached retina.
Yes, many retina issues. And then I wake up on Monday morning and I can't see out of my left eye anymore. And I go and find out that it is wet macular degeneration. They said they can give me injections, but they don't know if it'll work. Natalie says, you have got to come over here and get in here and sleep over. I've already been here working with getting this business organized for her since the beginning, even though.
And I'm going to interject. So I'm horrified on multiple levels. First of all, my grandmother has had these shots and they didn't help, and she's blind. And I'm worried for my friend desperately. I'm also worried for my business because she's the only one that works with me and she's trained and we're ready to go. But she's also gone part-time with her full-time job, so she's not going to be able to get disability or anything. And so I'm very scared for her and just feeling terrible. And so she very reluctantly came over. I didn't know how reluctant it was, but go ahead and tell me.
It was very reluctant from the get-go. I thought it was extremely interesting. I said I'll be open-minded, but I was a huge skeptic. I'm like, maybe, okay, one out of every 5,000 people might be getting something from this, and the rest of them are just hopeful. So I thought, well, whatever. So she says, no.
We're buffering.
Hold here, stay. And I said, well, I'll think about it. Just went home and I thought about it. And I thought, why not? What have I got to lose? I'll go give it a shot. There's been so much benefit for so many other people. Maybe I'll get lucky. So I did. I came over and I stayed 5 nights here. The 4th night, the next morning after that was the day that I had to go get the shot at the doctor for the injection for the macular degeneration. He told me that maybe it would work, maybe it wouldn't. We have no idea. It's different for everyone. Maybe 1 shot, maybe 12, maybe never. It all just depends. He said, if you're going to see a reaction from this shot, that was on a Tuesday. He said, you won't know anything probably till the weekend. And I thought, okay. So I came back here after the doctor visit, and I stayed again for 1 more night, still figuring nothing was going to come of it. I woke up the next morning and I could see. I could see just as clearly out of my left eye as I could before all of this happened. I really couldn't believe it. I was working here that day. So when the day was done, Natalie said,
So
okay,
you
you're going to
said
stay again
that.
tonight? And I said, no. She said, why? I said, I have to go home. She said, what? I said, because I have to get in my garage. I have to sit in my car because this is when I discovered Monday morning was on my way to work that I couldn't see when I'm in traffic. Scared to death. I can't see street lights. I can't tell what color they are. I couldn't see my speedometer. I could see nothing. But I didn't realize that morning until I got in my car in traffic how bad it actually was. So I have to go home. I have to get in my car. I have to see if I can see my gear shifting. I have to see if I can see my backup camera. I have to see if I can see anything. That'll be the tell for me. So I got my daughter to come and get me because I had not been driving for this whole time. And I go home and I sit in my driveway. And I'm in my garage, in my driveway, in my car. I turn it on. Well, there's the dashboard. You can see everything. Okay, I put it in reverse. I can see that move. I can see that I back up. And I'm sitting in my car. It's like silly, like a little kid at Christmas. And I said, I have to drive around the block. So I did. I drove around the block just to make sure I could see everything and get out on the main road and see lights and things. And I could see everything. Now, you have to keep in mind also, for 5 years, when I've been driving, I was closing that right eye that hasn't been working. Because when I looked, that eye was always messing up the left eye, the them had the macular degeneration in it. So I always tell the doctors, please just pluck that out or make it blind or something, because it messes with me, which they laughed at me and would not do. Regardless, now the next day, I called Natalie. I told her that night I could see. The next day, I come to work and I drove myself.
She drove.
I drove myself. And not only that, but after I got here, I was amazed. And then later that day, I realized I started seeing again through my right eye, which I haven't seen anything in 5 years.
This was all over a period of how long?
I'm sorry?
This was a period of a week and a half, and she stayed 5 nights, but not consecutively. Now, she also worked here during the day. So I estimate, based on other people that I've talked to and my husband's experience that we haven't gotten to, that she had maybe in the range of 100 to 120 hours. When you were at Scott McKay's opening, I was there and talked to a man that you talked to that also had gotten vision, and he took right about that same time. Now, I want to add a couple of things to help people understand. She had gone on FLMA for her other job. It was sitting in front of computer screens for a bank, reading people's accounts and helping them with fraud and things. And she couldn't see those computers. But with macular degeneration, you have a little bit of peripheral vision. You're blocked in the front. And then with her other eye problem, she had no peripheral vision and a tiny pinhole of vision. So she had just enough that she could come here and work with other people driving her and do a little bit of sweeping and some things with difficulty. Does that make sense? Does that help? Okay, good. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
No, I would like to finish about the story about the right eye.
Oh, I'm so sure.
So anyway, I realized I could see now out of the right eye. All of a sudden, the darkness that was surrounded was gone. The peripheral vision is back. I could see everything. I was to the moon excited. I could not believe it. I couldn't wait to get back to the eye doctor and be retested to see what they would say. In the meantime, I'm still driving. I drove myself home that day. The next day when I drove back, now that I've got all this vision back in my right eye, instead of closing it to drive down the road, I took my glasses off because, of course, the lens that was in my glasses was not meant for this eye now being able to see with it. So I took my glasses off, closed my left eye, and drove all the way here from my house with the right eye that I haven't seen with in 5 years. It was completely out of the blue. I had not expected that. I was hoping for help over here. And not only did I get it there, but I got major help in the right eye. There were no shots in there. There were no doctors that did anything. When I went back to the eye doctor to now get glasses for the eyes that I now have, which I'm still waiting from him, he was amazed. He couldn't believe it. He said that this is absolutely uncharted waters. He could see his patients coming here or to any center, for getting treatment for macular degeneration. And I said, it's not just that, it's everything. This is total body energizing. The cells fix just whatever they're going to fix. It's truly amazing.
So she's had neuropathy healed as well. She's got a great story about that.
Yes, after surgery to a knee replacement almost 5 years ago. No, I'm sorry. That was 11 years ago. Knee replacement surgery. I was back in my eye again. There was massive and intense nerve damage. My whole bottom of my right foot was completely unable to feel anything. My toes were paralyzed. It was bad. And it took many years for me to adjust to it and be able to walk again. But I finally got through that and it was over. And I've just been dealing with it. Now that doesn't really bother me anymore. But the other day, I was walking to the bathroom to take a shower, and I was barefooted, which I don't usually do, walking through my kitchen with my hardwood floor, and I could suddenly feel the temperature on the bottom of my foot. I said, no way. I stopped dead in my tracks, and I'm just kind of a foot off from one end to another to see if it was, and it was. I could feel it. I could feel the temperature. I could feel the floor on the bottom of my foot. I could feel everything. And then I picked my foot up at the heel and just kind of pointed my toes towards the sky. And I thought, surely I can't move them. But I can. Now I can move my toes. I have all the feeling back in my foot. I couldn't stand on anything because if even a little tiny little pebble got underneath my foot barefooted, I wouldn't be able to feel it on the surface. But it would shoot pain through the nerve that would go to my brain and make me just want to scream. Now I can step on everything. That pain doesn't happen. It's truly amazing. The energy level that I've gotten from it is also just intense. I can fly up and down stairs. I'm almost 70 years old, and I'm flying around here like a 2-year-old. So I have energy. I'm off in the field. I can see now out of both eyes where I only had one. And I lost 10 pounds. I mean, what more can I say? For me, it's been a fantastic journey. And being able to be a part of this is a gift. Jason, it's a gift. It is such a gift to be able to see so many people come through here with issues. And when they go, they call us later or they come back for their next visit. And they're so much better. And it's just unbelievable that I have gone from such a skeptic to someone now standing on the rooftops, yelling at everyone, give it a shot. This is fabulous. Everyone has something that can benefit. Try it.
Amazing, amazing. I got to ask you guys, what other types of things have you seen with, similar stories with the few minutes we have left here? What other things have you seen?
I've got a list for you, okay? And I'm going to stay right in my family here. The first 3 weeks of being open, we had 3 blind eyes healed. Obviously, Linda is 2 of them. My husband is the other one. My husband doesn't believe in anything. My husband is from Mexico. He is skeptical of everything, doesn't trust anything. And he's just going with the flow, putting up with me with this, but not on board really at all. Just said I could do it, but wasn't happy about it and wasn't interested. The first thing, we had a vet that had come here for 2 hours. And I'm going to go back to my husband in a second. The vet said that after 2 hours, he was taking less pain medication and he had more energy. I'm reading that to Linda. My husband overhears it and he goes, yeah, I have more energy too. And he said, and I noticed our dogs are more calm. So I mentioned that we breed Pomskys. The dogs were more calm and he was happy about that. So as we progressed, my husband is a pro athlete, more than 30 years of his life, but more than 35 years actually, and still working in that industry, has broken his back, broken his ribs, sprained his ankle, has bad knees, pain all over his body, pain in his tailbone, pain in his lungs, pain in his kidneys, just a mess. And he had been attacked. I had mistakenly said to somebody that it was a bar fight, and that's not correct, but he was attacked with a broken beer bottle. His cornea was scratched, and he has not been able to see out of that eye for more than 30 years. And somebody was trying to rob him of a month's pay on his way home. And this was in Mexico. I had been with him to a top surgeon in Newport Beach, California, about a cornea transplant. And the surgeon said, I would not recommend it for him. It's not going to help him. His eye is too bad. And apparently he had scar tissue. And we know that Linda, from her pictures, we're getting her before and after tests from 30 days apart. They haven't come yet. We got to nag them. But my husband can now see out of his blind eye from more than 30 years. So that was our first 3 weeks of being open, 3 blind eyes from 3 different problems, which is amazing. So my testimony comes from even before we got the, I'm pointing to a set of units that you can't see on the screen, but behind me. I had ordered the medallions to sell here in our little boutique. And, I didn't know what they did, but I'm 61 years old. And the pain that I had in my hips and in my spine was a level 6, 7, 8 every single day for 2.5 years. And really bad. And I put 3 of these on. I had pain in 3 places. I made one of them longer because I would wear it hanging down my back and sleeping that way. And I had on 2 bracelets. And I'm just kind of, throwing spaghetti at the wall to see if it would do anything. 3 days into wearing it, my pain spiked from a 6, 7, or 8 to a 10. I was crying. I was shaking. I couldn't think to do any work. I took ibuprofen. I went to bed, woke up feeling a little better. Didn't think about it having anything to do with medallions. I thought I was having a bad pain day, even though I'd only had pain that bad twice in my entire life. And within 2 weeks of putting these medallions on, after 2.5 years of pain, my pain is gone. It dropped to a 0.002 of 1%. So 9.8%. My left hip just had the tiniest bit of discomfort, that now that I have my system is gone. So that was incredible for me. My blood pressure running 4 businesses and pulling this together in 8 months and remodeling my entire house to accommodate it. My blood pressure was very high. I don't do doctors, but I had to go to the hospital and got diagnosed with diabetes as well. And we actually have ice cream and puppies here too with our center, right? And best ice cream I've ever tasted in my life. I was driving 2.5 hours to get it, and now all of a sudden I'm told I'm diabetic, right? Now, I want to say that you know this, but some people that aren't watching this, we have to, as a participant that wants healing, sometimes we need to make adjustment in our life for our diet. And our diet is very powerful. Our diet creates a lot of disease and it can heal a lot of disease. So they said I was type 2 diabetic. They wanted to put me on metformin. They doubled my blood pressure medication. I came home. I went off sugar. I started intermittent fasting. I went back on keto, and the system came and got installed, and my blood sugar is normal and my blood pressure is normal. So, and I have some of my ice cream once in a while and enjoy it thoroughly.
They didn't say no medication,
it's
though.
cool to see these things happen across the board. I say it every time, where we get to see common themes. And you see, I'm not even surprised anymore because I hear this literally every single week, over and over and over and over again from people all around the world. So, I mean, I'm grateful to be able to hear that your body's doing what. Yep.
Okay. 2 shoulders that are totally restored. One person was able to cancel surgery. The other person only had 2 hours here and saw that a shoulder that was painful for 4 months from a work injury, no more pain.
Right.
One of my favorites is a Facebook friend. Actually, I had met her in a local restaurant, and we had run into each other a couple of times and connected on Facebook, but we didn't really have any kind of a relationship. And she was off in Florida. She lives locally, but she was off in Florida. She heard about this. She was, oh my gosh, I gotta come. And she still, didn't really know, but she was in Placebo. She's probably in her 50s. Excuse me, after 2 hours, she said the next morning she woke up, she could breathe. She wasn't struggling like she normally does. And she said, she updated me a few days later. She says, I'm not having to use my inhaler. I am so much better. She can't wait to come back. She's a granddaughter that was born prematurely, and she was having seizures so bad that they did a 12-hour surgery to divide her brain and separate the part that was having seizures. So part of her body isn't working and things, and so we're going to get her in here and see what that'll do for that little one. She's just an adorable, precious little soul, and we're going to see how she can be helped. We have one person that came. She's that C-word survivor and had to have a hysterectomy and everything. She was going to another center and to ours, and she had another tumor that cropped up. And after coming for some sessions, she does not have a tumor anymore. Let's see.
My housemate.
Oh, pinched nerve. Oh, okay. Lynn's got one more for you from the medallions.
The medallion, that's another medallion. My housemate,
To you, Cheryl.
came in for a session, had to have just some kind of a cyst removed in her chest. And as a result of that, there was a very large lump of scar tissue that was in a very bad area and was very painful to her. She asked me to bring her a medallion home. This was after everything started happening to me. She was also skeptical. So I brought it home and I gave it to her, and she wore it for 2 nights. It was either the next morning or the second
She
morning.
told me the next day.
It was the very next day. The very next day she woke up, and that scar tissue that was about the size of a large marble had diminished down to the size of a very small mole. There's no more pain. She said, Linda, it's virtually gone. I have to actually look for it to be able to find it in there. And that was one night, and she had that for months. So there's just it's endless the things that are happening here.
And we so thrilled. The people that come here are so kind and so grateful. We had a gentleman bring us 5 flowers yesterday. Just $5 worth of flowers. That made my whole day. It just thrilled my heart. We've had other people, pick flowers from their home and bring them. A couple different people have brought us vegetables. People are just kind. And my husband, who was reluctant with all of this, he is talking to all his friends in California. He's got somebody taking care of a little boy with brain tumors. Get him to an EE center. A friend with the wife has breasts, the C word, and get her to an EE center in Texas. And
He was also a huge skeptic. He and I used to talk about it.
yeah, people having people here in our home because we didn't get that whole restaurant thing that I really tried to do. And so we opened it up here in our 4,400 square foot home, and he was like, well, we can't cook dinner because people will smell the food and they'll want some and we've worked through all of that. Everybody is just lovely and kind and understanding, and it
Fabulous experience from every level.
I
Everyone
never
that
had
walked
so
through that
much
door.
joy every single day. It's amazing.
Good. That's why we do these things. So, again, just to reiterate for everybody, you guys are Stonehill Retreat in Louisville, Kentucky. 24-unit system, and I want everybody to go check out your website. StonehillRetreat.com is where you guys can learn more. The website is right over here, and there's a link in the description below so you can learn more, check out what this center is all about, and make sure to watch this video. I was blind with Linda explaining what actually happened over there with her experiences. So it's awesome. I know you guys have a promotion going on right now. Before we end, can you just share that promotion real quick?
One of my favorite promotions right now is we have a lot of people that come from other states to come here, much more so than the people actually in Louisville. And if they buy an overnight, we give them all of the available hours on the day of their overnight and all of the available hours after their overnight, 35 and a half hours available to them for $1,000, which is a $750 savings.
Beautiful. I hope everybody takes advantage of that. And if you are in Kentucky or anywhere in the surrounding area, or even very far, and you just want to check out the energy of the center because every single one is unique in its own way, go check out Stonehill Retreat in Louisville, Kentucky. Again, there's a link in the description below to learn more about this center specifically. And if you're in another country all around the world, we now have over 300 centers in over 40 countries around the world. It is absolutely everywhere. So Natalie and Linda, thank you both very much for sharing and being here. And I look forward to meeting you guys sometime in the near future.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It's a
you.
great pleasure. Can I ask you one question?
Yes.
Oh, he left it in.
TLS, and I didn't get
I
to
thought
tell
he'd
you
take it
how
out.
me being a fan of TLS was really part of me jumping in because I'm just like, this is the coolest thing. And even though I'm 61, I want to be a superhero. And I didn't really know that they were as involved as they are with this. So that's super gravy for me. We're center number 99, by the way, which is exciting to me and significant to me. Are they going to use this for a shield with all of the direction that this goes out, changing the environment around us as you're putting in more and more centers? Is this creating protection?
Well, forget about TLS. Regardless of them, this is creating, the point is to do like earth acupuncture, around the world and create a new energetic envelope around this planet of coherence as opposed to distortion. So I would assume that that's probably why they stood behind this, to make something like that happen and to really like create an explosion of awareness around the world. So everybody knows what's going on here, and everybody understands and becomes aware of this technology and the fact that we have the ability to do it ourselves as well. That's the end goal, to use the EE system as a stepping stone and to eventually get to that point where we're able to activate that within each and every one of ourselves. So we're definitely behind it. And I'm sure that they stood behind it and they chose to stand behind it and send me to do something like that because of its power to create that new energetic effect.
Well, we are thrilled to be a part of it and very grateful for the honor and privilege. So thank you for talking with us today.
Thank you. Thank you both very much, and we'll be in touch. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Hey, you guys, thank you for watching with us. We appreciate it. Now, if you don't want all of our distractions in there, you can go ahead and watch it directly online. But thank you. Bye-bye. Blessings.